Welcome to Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. Please be sure to give us a follow on all social media platforms and connect with us. First up, we have Pitt Sports Zone as Bowie State alum Kaleb Chester talks post-grad life, HBCU culture, and football. Next, we catch highlights and press conferences from day 13 of the Baltimore Ravens training camp after their preseason Week 1 win over the Indianapolis Colts. Then we head to Ashburn and see highlights and press conferences from day 11 of the Washington Commanders training camp following their preseason Week 1 loss to the New England Patriots. Finally, Legacy Maker Sports Network gives us a sit-down with CEO-founder of the BS3 Network, Ben Sudderth III, as he shares his start in sports journalism and how he's currently expanding. There's so much to see on this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? You know what it is. It's your boy Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live once again. Listen, this is personal, and I just can't wait to jump into it. But before we do, shout out to the sponsor, Staples and Smart Water, for all that you do for Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone. Thank you. Tune in.
Hey everybody, my name is Sydney Chester. I am a senior at the Bowie State University, communications major, and today we have the pleasure of sitting down with someone who truly exemplifies leadership, discipline, and excellence on and off the field. Kaleb J. Chester is a 2023 graduate of the Bowie State University, the oldest HBCU in the state of Maryland, and the former captain of the Bowie State football team. A powerhouse in his position, he was named first team all-conference, recognized as the best center of the CIAA, and ranked as the number 10 center in the country. Before his time at Bowie, he was a part of the 2019 SAC championship team at Lennar Rhine. I hope I said that right. And also played as a Division I athlete at Abilene Christian University. Now he's tackling new goals as a senior universal banker at First Horizon. Please welcome the one and only my cousin, Kaleb Chester.
Yes, sir. Hey. First things first, man. Right. Yeah, you definitely did. You definitely did. First things first, man. Hey, all glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I can't thank him enough for all the blessings and all the opportunities he's given me. Shout out to Pitts, happy belated birthday, and shout out to my cousin as well. So
appreciate it, man. Listen, this is gonna be fun, right? Because Kaleb was one of the players when I first started. Pitts and Push, and I'm out there with a camera, my cell phone, taking pictures with the cell phone at first to get the coverage. Hey, this is full circle, man. I appreciate you being here with us.
Hey, it's an honor being on your platform, Pitts. I remember first getting to Bowie and you being like, hey, do me a favor, post a picture real quick.
So look, before we kick it off, let's do a little icebreaker. Let's get a listeners of yours a little bit about yourself that they may not know, right? Mm-hmm. So what is your favorite food?
Definitely a pasta guy. So fun fact, I'm pescatarian. So I don't eat chicken, I don't eat beef, I don't eat steak. I enjoy health. So I'm pescatarian, but I love pasta. Ooh. I love salmon, but pasta, it has my heart. So
what is your favorite place to visit or a dream destination visit?
So actually, believe it or not, my girlfriend is from Panama City Keys. So pretty soon I want to go out there. So that's my dream destination right now. So
okay. Hey, listen. You getting some brownie points with that one, young man.
Yes,
sir. And lastly, what is your favorite NFL team?
Oh, I'm a Falcons guy. But I don't know if you can see it because of the glare right there, but I got Turner Field right there. They demolished it, but hey, I'm Falcons ATL till I die. So
they say, okay, ATL, Scotty.
Oh yeah, ATL, Scotty for sure.
So listen, man, let's go ahead and jump into it. You're from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. When you were coming out of high school, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know about HBCUs? Was it a destination of yours?
So being transparent with you, I did some great things in high school. I was the leader of the offensive line. We went to the semifinals and we lost to Colquitt in double overtime. So basically, fresh out of high school, I was told I was going to be a D3 NAIA athlete. And, I took it with a grain of salt. And at first, I got a late offer to Lake Erie College up in Ohio. So I was So I was like, hey, this is where I'm gonna go. And last second, Drew Cronick offered me a full ride scholarship to Lenore Ryan. And I remember my mom was like, okay, where's the school located? And I told her Hickory, North Carolina. She was like, okay, we'll be there tomorrow. So next thing I know, I went on an official visit, and it felt like home. So that's where I ended up going. So.
Okay, awesome.
Now, Kaleb, you've had an impressive journey through college football, from LR to ACU and then to Bowie State, your alma mater. What motivated each transition, and how did each school shape you as an athlete and also as a person?
Most definitely. So when I first went to LR, it really taught me hard work and dedication. We actually went undefeated. Our only loss was to West Florida in the quarterfinals, and that was our only loss. And West Florida went on to win the national championship that year. So being there, being around guys like Kyle Duggar, who's the current safety for the New England Patriots, Derek Young, who's a wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, and also Jason Poe, one of my role models. He was in the league for a couple of years. He was on the San Francisco 49ers and then the Philadelphia Eagles. He just recently retired. But being around those guys and seeing what hard work looks like really molded me on the field and also outside of the field. So going from there, and then my coaching staff ending up going to Mercer, and I decided to put my name in the portal, and having the blessing to be a Division I athlete. When I was in high school, nobody thought I was going to be Division I, but God really blessed me with the opportunity to go to Texas and meet some of my best friends to this day. And unfortunately, at ACU, my coaching staff got fired again, but I ended up finding a home at Bowie State University.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I think that's one of the aspects that I think we don't highlight enough. A lot of times as athletes, you always have a coach or two who, I don't want to say doubt you, but they kind of put a label on you, right? You're an NIAA guy, you're a Division II, you're a JUCO guy. Talk about the mindset, and when you show, and we know your leadership and your determination. Talk about that mindset and that mental switch to say, you know what, regardless of where they feel that I am, and regardless of what they feel I'm capable of, I know that there is more in me that is bigger than the institutions and the platforms that they place me on.
And being honest with you, when it came down to it, I'll never forget where I was being told that I'm an NAIA D3 athlete. Being 17 at the time, it really did, hurt me a little bit, but I feel like I really transformed who I am as a person and as a man when I started locking in on, okay, being in the present moment, taking it day by day and being the best version of myself. A lot of people focus on proving the doubters wrong and doing things for external validation. But the moment that I locked in on the plan that God had for me, I feel like that's when I really started understanding what it's like to be a man on and off the field.
And Sydney, before you jump, I just want to highlight something you just said: external gratification. A lot of times we operate outside of ourselves to prove other people wrong, where we trip up instead of just doing it, and allowing the chips to fall where they may, because God's plan always wins.
Most definitely. And a lot of people, especially athletes, that's one thing that I really want to point out. You'll really find out who you are as a man and as an individual when you start finding out who you are and the hard work and the dedication aspect. Walking away from the game was one of the hardest things that I could do, but I could look back and be proud of myself and all the things that I've accomplished now because I gave it all I had. There wasn't a time where I stepped on the field or in the weight room and I was lackadaisical. I can't speak today, but there wasn't a time where I didn't give it 100%. So being able to transmute that from the weight room, the film room, the field into my banking career, I feel like that's something that I really want to really have a lot of people understand.
Shout out to mom. Shout out to mom on the chat.
Yeah, shout out mom.
As a team captain in 2023 at Bowie State University football, how did you approach leading your teammates both on and off the field? I mean, you still keep in contact with your old teammates, you're still in contact with your old coaches, but being the team leader, how did you approach that position?
I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't easy. Coming into the season, I remember I wasn't even a starter. I came in from a Division I school, and my goal was to play off rip. They were giving me a lot of money to come in and showcase my skills. And going into fall camp, I was dominating. And I was just on the phone with Coach Park last Friday, and he told me, he was like, hey, look, I wanted everything to gel together. And once the train got rolling, that second half, we were down by 10 points to New Haven, and I got my opportunity. And guess what? even that next week, I still didn't start. But after that, I got my opportunity and I started rolling. And I really thought that I would have a lot of accolades, but I ended up fracturing my sternum in 2 places. And I played
Yeah.
2 games with it. And it was one of those things where, I'm going to be honest with you. I was devastated. I really was. And I took the time. I was like, okay, look, this isn't going to be the first time where I'm down and out, but what am I going to be? When adversity hits, that's when you find out who you really are. So I went in the weight room from January to July. I didn't miss one. I missed 1 week. And the only reason why I missed that week was because my mom had surgery. But I was in the weight room. Whenever Coach Page was in the weight room, I was in there. And a lot of people don't like leaders because guess what? You challenge them to do things that they're uncomfortable with. But as long
Yeah.
as you're giving it all that you have and being the best version of yourself that you can be, the rest takes care of itself.
Absolutely. I love what you said. When adversity hits, that's when you know who you really are. I love that.
Thank you.
And before I get to the next question, definitely don't want to leave you
Thank you.
out. This is wifey, Sydney. Shout out to you. And then we can't leave out Auntie Nicole Blackman. I'm sorry, Auntie.
Shout out Nicole. Love you, TT. Love you, TT.
But so when we talk, and I'm glad I remember that year when you got hurt, right? And one of the things that you didn't do was, like, even though you were hurt, you were still a part of the team. You were still a leader on the sideline. And a lot of the times that wanes when players are hurt because the selfishness in us and the competitor in us want to be out there. So I commend you for the way that you handled it. I know it wasn't easy. I know it was hard. We had many conversations, during that season as it took place. But I just want to say from my viewpoint, and I've expressed this to you before, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the way you handled it. But even furthermore, like, it wasn't your ending. You still went on to do great things.
Yes, sir.
For Bowie State University. And one of the things that I enjoyed, man, was your energy.
Yes, sir.
When I'm on the field, one of the things, like, it was like I felt like I was a part of the squad with y'all.
Yes, sir.
When you talk about HBCUs, right? What is the culture? If somebody was to ask you the culture of an HBCU, what would be your response?
So I would answer it like this. I'll never forget. I left Abilene Christian, and being honest with you, I was devastated. All I wanted to do was be a Division I athlete, and it not working out, it really devastated me. But I remember I hopped on the phone with Coach Kajak and Coach Tyree, and they were like, look, you need to be here. And we want you to come up on an official visit, and we'll work out the rest. So Kyle Williams actually called me, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, hey, what's it going to be like when I get up there? And he goes, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to show up. You're going to get 2 shirts. You're going to get 2 shorts and 2 pairs of shorts. And guess what? We're going to show up every day and we're going to work. They had just got done beating Lenore Ryan. And I was like, they were already on my radar. So being able to see them and go on that official visit and watching them push prowlers, run 100-yard gashes in the 100-degree heat, pick up whatever they could find in order to make it work. That's when I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. And being around, being a young African-American male and being around young African-American men who wanted to have the same end goal as me, it's priceless. That's something you can't put a price on. So it was an outstanding opportunity. And I look back and I tell my beautiful girlfriend on all the time, hey, a teammate will text me and I'll be like, hey, guess what? Let me tell you about this story. So it was an outstanding experience. And I really feel like it's something that really made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
Jim, do you feel like this is your best team before years in Baltimore?
I would think so. I mean, I always want wherever I'm at now to be the best I'm at. So I always want to be better than any other year before now. So I would say so. You know, just continuing to find something new to work on every day. Staying consistent, staying available, you know, and just showing up. You know, from there on, God take care of the rest. So I'm happy right now.
Talking about the availability, is there something different changes that you made, you know, from a physical standpoint to try to stay healthy?
Yeah, man, really my entire offseason was dedicated towards that, whether it was changing nutrition, workout routines. I believe just the team that I have around me, from my trainer to my Pilates teacher to management, everything that's around me, I think has been very healthy for me this offseason, and I've seen great results from it. So being able to continue to do those things throughout the season and even building on top of that is something that's still a main goal for me, and that's another area that I'm happy where I'm at right now. So, good progress.
You saw you got some safety nets over there. You know, does that help having the positional flexibility? Do you feel like is that something you can, you know, in a pinch play that sort of role?
For sure. I mean, I'm never going to say no to an opportunity to play in this defense. So if that's where the coaches think that I would be able to excel at, then I'm going to give that a shot. And it obviously helps just knowing almost safety would be the last position for me to complete in the secondary. So at that point, really understanding the entire defense, knowing what everyone's job is. So whenever it's my turn to be in a certain spot, I understand what everyone else is doing, which helps me, you know, be able to adjust on the fly, be able to plug and play at any point in time. And you know, I view it as a great thing that my coaches trust me to be able to plug and play anywhere. Of course, I want to be able to develop into a spot and grow into it, but I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to step into the field for sure.
Over the rookie year, ends up with injuries, a couple other injuries. What's the biggest challenge for you year to year when that keeps happening?
I mean, I think every challenge is different in their own different ways. I mean, they've all been setbacks in some ways, but I don't really approach any of them the same and don't really look forward to them at all in the future because I don't want any more. So, I mean, every situation was different. I was able to learn something different from it, whether it was something I could have done differently or just a lesson I could learn in that moment to prevent something going forward, or just, you know, just a moment to learn from where my feet are. So I think my main focus is being wherever my feet are in that moment, even if it's something I don't like or even if it's something I love, and just finding the best thing out of it and continue to push forward. So that's just my mindset all the time.
Were the injuries, you know, either the compilation of them or even last year, is that part of the deal with mentally at some point, some level, and you have to do something to kind of get over that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough having to watching the game that you love, watching, you know, something that you dream of since you was a child. That's always the toughest thing, you know, not being around your teammates consistently, you know, not being out at practice. Even the days that are hard and the days that you feel like suck are the days that you miss the most when you're not out there. So it's always tough mentally and, of course, physically, because you got to get back to where you are and figure out how to get stronger so it doesn't happen again. But, I mean, I have a great support system. You know, my family supports me very well. My mom, my sisters, my daughters, everyone around me. I have great people that I can lean on whenever I need them to, or whenever I need to, and my teammates, and the people around this building. So I'm very grateful for everyone around me to figure out ways to continue to go forward when it's tough.
Going into year 4 and your knowledge of the defense and everything, from a pure just being able to cover a guy when you're out there on that field and help, how strong do you feel and confident in your abilities to do that?
Oh, 1,000%. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that. I wouldn't be here if they didn't think I could do that. So that's never a doubt at all. Just be available, believe in myself, go out there, and let it go.
Very quickly had like individualized feedback and everything. What has it been like to work with him? What's some of the stuff that has you?
Oh, outstanding. I think being around Coach Chuck is just a blessing. You know, someone so smart, so intelligent, and just eager to teach. You know what I mean? He just loves being around the guys. He loves teaching people. He just loves to see it through. And to have someone like that behind you that really believes in you and wants to push you forward, it's nothing but a blessing. It's been a joy to be around him. Love being around him every day. He'll text you at any point in time, and I'm always welcome there. I'm always ready for that. So, you know, I love being around both him and Double D, man. It's a great blessing.
Taught you anything unique that you haven't learned in the past few years here from other coaches?
For sure. I don't want to put that out, but 1,000%. I mean, I feel like I learn something from him almost every day, really. Yeah. You know, it's never really a review. He always has a new point, something to look at on the smallest thing. So, you know, I love it.
How do you feel like you were settling on campus? So you get your hands on a lot of balls. How do you feel like yourself?
Yeah, it's been fun. Anytime I get to play football, I'm in 9 years now, so you're definitely just grateful to be on this field and to be with a great set of guys, a place where it has a great culture. So it's truly a blessing, and just enjoying every second of it.
You know, it's the first time we've gotten to talk since you came here. What sort of drew you here in terms of super fit for you and stuff like that?
It was interesting. You know, I had an opportunity to have options, but when I talked to Coach Harbaugh, my agent told me the Ravens were calling. There's something in my heart that I was like, Ravens. It's like a little bit like intimidating, also excitement. You know, like just surrounding the culture that they put here, and that was like a gut feeling that just told me to run after it. Obviously, talking to Harbaugh, you know, I had a chance to talk to some guys like Marlon, Nnamdi Madubuike, and some players that played here previously. You know, they all said the same thing. So it was just really that gut feeling that made me really feel was here, and it's been great. Oh, it's been amazing. You know, he's from Boulder, so I went to college in Boulder, so we have a special connection there. You know, he's a football guy, obviously being a head coach, being around DBs for a long time, wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience, and he keeps things light. Chuck's a guy that everybody knows to lean on, for just a good vibe and also just great coaching. So he's been amazing.
This quarterback room is just loaded with talent. You know, you sound like you. What's it like with 7 years
This is like a standard that we're trying to do. You know, it's an opportunity to be great. You know, we're basically great on paper right now. We all know that, but we know that there's a long road to actually be there. You know, a lot of time spent in the film room, a lot of time spent off the field building that chemistry. You know, we've been talking already about starting to figure out how we're going to be watching film during the season and stuff like that. So I think it's a lot of things that we can pick each other's brains just in the whole unit. You know what I'm saying? We all come from been pretty successful in our careers, so this opportunity to be great. We know this it's going to take a lot to do.
What's the reputation of this organization from afar? And where did you get to?
Yeah, I guess like I'm a '90s baby. I guess we getting old now or something. But you know, when I grew up, seeing Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, the offenses they had, and a whole bunch of Steve Smith, you know, so many great players, running backs. It's always been like a standard, like I said. Play Madden. It's like, oh, you use the Ravens, bro? Like, well, you can't use the Ravens. It's like cheating almost, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they have that aura about the team, you know what I'm saying? And then on the black jerseys. I played here Sunday night on the other side. It's like, dang, this is crazy, you know? So, you know, being on this side of it, you know, again, it's really exciting. It's a real opportunity, like I said. I don't want to take it for granted.
In your other stuff, did you have to go against Derrick Henry?
Yes, I have.
So what is it like now? You're teammates with him, but what's it like when you have to go against him?
Yeah, he's one of those players. You know, there's certain players in this league where you think about them the week before. You know, like certain players, you know, have garnered that respect where you're like, okay, maybe you spend like 10 minutes in the meeting. You have to game plan for him. He's one of those guys where you see them on the schedule. Okay, like, you have to get ready to tackle that week, or you know you're trying to get a certain game plan and try to stop him. But being on this side is lovely, obviously. We get to face him in camp and in practice, but we know that he's definitely gonna have to be game plan for against other teams. yeah, it's always a wealth of respect for him.
So you never had to you play for football against him?
There's actually a clip, I think 2021, I was on the Bengals, played the Titans in the divisional round. And he tried to put it out there. He didn't get me though. He tried. But, yeah. Definitely my life flashed. You don't want to end up on Twitter for the wrong reason. I guess I'm still fitting in. I think everybody's personality starting to show for real. Jair came and just tried to burst the energy. Really had Marlon. Everybody's just really starting to gel together. Also, I'm quiet where I just exist. Yeah, like I'm a fun guy, but I'm also a serious one. So yeah, I think everybody. The good thing about it is that you can see them all bouncing off each other. Everybody's bouncing off each other. And when you do that, you make plays, you start to celebrate it. We obviously we hang out when we're in the locker room, meetings. We actually went to Jair's house. He can't handle activities for us, but we all just hung out, ate some pizza and wings, played some card games, watched some shows and stuff. It was a good vibe. It kind of showed like everybody was there. Some teams, some guys, maybe they had something to do, but you can tell that it matters to everybody to try to get close to us.
What up? I did? Bet.
Important to come out like with a strong practice a day after a frustrating night Friday.
You saying for us? Yeah, I mean, I think just as a team in general, we always trying to find ways to get better. And obviously, you know, I didn't play in the game, but, you know, I still want to find ways to get better each and every day, and I know the team does. So whatever happened last week, joint practice, preseason game, it really doesn't matter anymore.
I'm assuming you'll play at some point this preseason, but like, do you think those are important reps to get in a preseason game for you?
I love playing football, but I don't make those type of decisions. So I leave that out for DQ and AP.
All right. Yeah, I guess it's not working. Jade, obviously. Okay. Obviously, there was a lot of great moments from last year. The Bengals game on national TV, the pass to Terry at the end, a lot of people cited that as like maybe their favorite throw of yours from last year. I know you're not a guy that looks back at these kinds of things, but that play in particular in that game, was there something extra special for you when you look back on it in terms of sort of your first big moment in the NFL stage?
I don't really look back at it anymore. It is what it is. You know, I'm really just looking forward to, you know, the upcoming season.
At this stage, with regards to the receiver room, just kind of still getting used to all the guys, how do you kind of feel that is right now relative to maybe, say, last year at this point for you?
I mean, I just think I'm in a different position. Last year was my first training camp, first preseason game. Now I'm in year 2. So I'm just trying to get better with those guys each and every day, and I know they're working their butts off to go out there and make plays, and then making tough catches in practice, and, you know, in the game, joint practices, things like that.
Jaden, from like a non-football standpoint, how has your like life changed the most from last year to right now?
Yeah, I'm very grateful for, you know, everybody that showed me love and everything. But like I've stated before, I'm a very introverted individual. So the spotlight being on me isn't, you know, the funnest thing for me. You know, there's places I can't go without people not noticing me. So I'll say changing that aspect of being recognizable in public.
And real quick to follow up on what Ben just asked, with the wideouts, with, you know, like Noah hasn't been able to practice so much of an injury. Obviously, we know Terry's situation. What's the challenge for a quarterback when there's so many guys like in and out, moving parts, trying to get like chemistry down with a room that's a little bit in flux?
I just got to go out and do my job and give them opportunities to make plays with the ball placement, you know, go through my reads and give those guys chances to make plays. You know, we all get paid for a reason, and we all got to do our job.
Following that, Jaden, how do you feel it's been developing with you and Debo, and what little things do you see maybe where it's been maybe an enhanced connection just because you've spent some time together now?
I just think he's starting to understand how I see things, and I love to hear his feedback as far as what he's seeing, because obviously I'm not the one running the route. I get to see kind of the picture. He's only seeing, you know, partially of it. So just seeing having those conversations, seeing what he sees and telling him what I see, so we're on the same page.
Do you ever worry with like Terry out, Noah as well, how much time it will take you guys to kind of get that connection back?
Nah, I control what I can control.
Debo, at what point did you feel like you really did have a solid connection together?
First day of training camp when we hit the deep ball. So from there, it's kind of just grown each and every day where we're trying to continue to still be on the same page.
And just what have you seen from him in camp? What's just been your view of, you know, how he's played, how he's looked?
He looks good. He makes plays, contested catches. He's been making all the camp. So I'm excited to see as we continue to grow this thing. I'm excited to see what we do and, you know, the game setting.
You're speaking with your connection with Mikey, you know, y'all drafted together. I always see y'all talking with each other. Are I know y'all are friends, but are you getting information off him? Do you feed off of him? What's your connection like with Mikey that you could share?
Yeah, that's my brother. You know, I love Mikey to death. We're family. We're talking ish to each other. But we're also like, hey, this is what I see. How do you read this concept? Because he's very instinctual individual and player. And I think that's kind of discredited in his game. He's super smart, super intelligent. So I try to be on my P's and Q's versus him. I know he has to do the same thing versus me.
Hey, Jaden, you all had a chance to go up to New England to play in an inter-squad joint practice throughout training camp. How do you see this offense overall? You have a lot of new faces up on the offensive line. At this stage, how do you see them as far as the growth there?
Yeah, I think we're getting better each and every day. It's not going to be perfect, and obviously you don't want to peak right now in early August. So, you know, it's going to be a gradual build for us, but I like the trajectory and the path we're on.
Talk about the running back room a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are out there making plays. They're getting the opportunity to shine, you know, with rookies and, you know, the younger guys and B-Rob Eckler. I mean, I like the room. They push each other competing, so I'm excited.
Jaden, in the joints, you guys were moving the ball really well, and then it kind of got bogged down a little in the red zone areas, and seems kind of similar today. How do you feel about the red zone offense at this stage?
I mean, I love what we're doing, but we're not necessarily game planning yet, so that plays a factor, especially going against others. So we don't necessarily have our plays to beat other teams. We're just going out there and focus on how we could get better and focus on our craft.
What's it like, you know, now a month in or whatever with Laramie?
I mean, it's great. Love him to death.
Obviously, every team has a plan for their quarterback, so it's not specific to what the Commanders are doing with you. But when you look around the league and see Joe Burrow starting in the first preseason game and other kind of starting quarterbacks, does that get the juices flowing for you? Does that get you feeling itchy to get out there and play?
I think I'm itching to play every week. So, like I said, I don't make those decisions. I do what I told, but joint practice was super beneficial for not only me but for us to go up and get unscouted looks and go up against the different faces. So, I mean, I trust DQ and AP with their plans, so I just go out there and do what I could do and get better every time I'm able to step on the field.
All right, hello, everybody. One of the greatest privileges that comes with this position, it's allowed me to grow my relationship with the military. My thoughts were all over the place, kind of driving in, still frustrated some from Friday, and remembered it was a military appreciation that I was like, hell yeah. And they're expecting almost 4,000 active duty and service members and families here. So like, what a cool day. If I've told you all the things I've learned from military people, we'd be hanging out all day. So I thought maybe I'd share one that's been super helpful for me, and they're called after-action reports. And anybody in the military would tell you they know exactly what that is. I see David over there nodding his head, and I've applied a lot in my football world to that. What went right? What went wrong? What would you want to do different? In that space of assessing it, there's no levels. It's just ideas and thoughts and ways to do it better. It keeps the emotion out of it and allows you to focus on, you know, the task at hand. How do we do to go get it better in the process? You've heard so much over the last year and a half about the Commander's Standard, and much of that was born from a idea of a Navy SEAL ethos or a Ranger's creed, and we never compare what we do to what they do, but does remind me recalibrate and get back to our standard. So I thought I just wanted to share the military with you today and how pumped I am to have them here, and glad to get rocking with you guys.
Can you first update on the injuries, the guys who weren't able to go, and then anybody from the game who left with anything?
Yeah, so I'll have a better update for you Tuesday on some of the injuries as we'll get through it. The players that didn't travel to the game all were here and did rehab things, and like I said, by Tuesday I think I'll have a better sense for what the next block looks like for them. We have an important couple days here with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then we kind of get into the next block for Cincinnati. One thing I can say is that Lucas Niang did tear his ACL, So bummer on that part. I wanted to give you that update. He had really done a nice job for us in a short time, so we're really bummed for him, at offensive line to come in and learn it and being ready to go play. It sucks in this chapter, but there's a lot more for him out there, but wanted to acknowledge that today.
And then you talked about your frustration after the game and not the standards. How do you then get the message across during practices, and what's your approach with that?
Yeah, fortunately, there's a process really that we go through when it goes well and when it doesn't, like on Friday, and we call it Tell the Truth Monday. It happened to be on a Sunday for us, but these are the things that we saw in the game. These are the things we want to identify. It helps. Then you can say this is the things that we want to work on this week as players and as coaches. Then you flush it to say, okay, talk about it, identify it, and you work from there. So we did that today, and then this afternoon it's kind of on to the things we want to improve upon. A lot of new commanders in their first one. Some hit the standard, some didn't, and that's the good part about Tell the Truth Monday. You point it all out. All right, you guys have a good day. There we go.
How do you feel about your team's depth just coming out of that game? I mean, were there any concerns there?
At certain ones, Nikki, I feel like, man, there's really, strong ones. That sometimes happens. I see that at running back and at tight end, at defensive line. And then there's others, okay, keep digging. In fact, we have a workout later on this afternoon, post-practice and, to continue to look at some guys. And one thing I've come to really appreciate about Adam and his staff is, like, there's a chance to get better. We're going to dig in and find ways to do that, and we'll continue to do that.
Sticking with that, are there any positional groups that you feel are especially strong on this team?
Yeah, I really like the group of safeties. I think that's one that jumps out to me from not just playing on defense, but their role on special teams. So that part at corner, I feel stronger than we felt before. So those would be two, Nikki, that jump out to mind to me. And running back, I would say, if there was a third one to throw into the group. There's a lot of competition, and it's even though the game happens, it's like good to remind ourselves, man, there's a lot of camp to go for us, evaluations and practices this week into a game, next week a joint, next week a game. So the next 2 weeks as coaches and players, it's a lot of fun, and you really push it to see where you can take it, because opportunities are there, but you do have to go take it.
You were understandably upset Friday night with special teams. How do you address that, and kind of specifically the coverage stuff? Where were those breakdowns?
Yeah, you're right on. That's our flagship on the special team side, especially the kickoff and the kickoff return. We take great pride in that. And so to see that not go down, first thing, man, like, acknowledge it, put it up, show both of them where the errors were. Good news, like, this is how we also fix that. But it was important to show that. It's important to say when it's right, but it's important to show this isn't to the standard. This is how we've got to do it, and I'm certain we'll get that fixed.
How have you seen Jaden sort of evolve or change at all as like a leader throughout training camp?
Yeah, I think at the position you want to see, like, making others around you even improve, and the way you get better. He's so much clearer on the communication, to teammates, whether it be a route or a standard of things. And so I saw it last year with Zach a lot, because this part of the route. Now you see it with other players as well. I recently saw it with he and Debo, working a specific route against, like 2 specific coverages, and they did a good bit of that pregame. So I think that's the step, Not only is he going to handle himself, and we know that, and then how do we make others around him better? I think it's the conversations, the deliberate practice on a specific route or a specific skill. Those are the things that I've noticed.
Pardon if this might be premature, but is there any thought at all to bring in a second kicker to have some competition with Matt? And kind of what have you seen from Matt in camp?
Yeah, totally fair question. It's not where we're at, but we've got a lot of faith and belief in Matt, and there's a lot for us to get better at. And at that position, it's technical, and you got to make sure the issues are really strong and really capable to go. And I'm certain he'll do that.
Dan, obviously you're going to wait
for every piece of data you guys have before determining the roster, and Adam obviously is leading that charge. But do you at all during this process say, you know what, I'm sitting on my couch, let me do a 53 the way the outside world does? Do you ever just on your own do that? And
yes.
What's that process like when you're why do you do it in that case?
Yeah, I think it's important, like think of it in two ways, Ben, like a 53 and a 70, to say who in your mind might be there. And it's fun to, sometimes I'll snapshot it with my phone and see, where am I at in the spring? Where am I at now? What might have changed? And there's certain ones that you're still like, okay, this or here, back or forth. And I'd say those are the ones that allows you to really focus in on a few of them. And it may be ones that you're not thinking of. It's an interior lineman. It's ninth there, this spot here. And so it makes you think. It makes you dig in a little harder. So I like doing it. I don't put a lot of stock into it, but I do it because I'd like to compare what's changed. I want to have fresh eyes for when real competition presents itself and people take it. And so I think if you close your mind to it, you're not going to be open to that. So I don't want to put, pass judgment on somebody too early. And so I try to allow myself the space to do that. But yeah, I do the same exercise you guys probably do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of One-on-One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And of course, airing on the amazing Bowie TV. We are excited today. We are sitting now at episode 4 here, season 6. And our 173rd episode overall. And today I got a special guest with me, man. This guy is amazing. I mean, met this guy about 8 years ago. He's done so many amazing things with his platform and has taken it to new heights every single day. So it's an honor to have my man Ben Sudderth with me today, the third at that, to come talk about the BS3 Network and all that fun stuff. We're about to get into that right now. BS3 is about to join me right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode of One-on-One that starts now. One. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to One-on-One at Legacy Maker Sports Network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here, episode 173 of One-on-One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie TV. And I'm excited today. I know y'all said the you say it every week. You say that every week. That's okay. I'm gonna keep saying it. But I'm excited today because I have another gentleman with me, a colleague that has just continued to raise the bar every single day. Every opportunity he gets, he makes an impact in the media field. And it's hard because if anybody can tell you a story on how hard it is to start from here to get to up here, it's my man BS3. Ben, how you doing today, brother? Good to have you. How's everything going right now?
Yeah, man, it's going great, man. Glad to be on. Thank you for offering. Was that you on the intro? Let's pause.
So yeah, everybody loves the intro. That's my cousin. Okay. My cousin is a local. I don't want to say local anymore. He was he went to the BET Awards this year and performed at the pre-show. So let me stop acting like my cousin ain't doing big things. I'm proud of you, Chosen, aka Lamarck Butler. That's my guy right there. But he did the intro for me. Okay. I hit him up. I'm like, fam, look, I need an intro, for my personal podcast. He said, say less, I got you. Next thing you know, about 3 days later, he sent it to me. I said, ooh, I said, this is it right here.
Sound like you.
I said, okay. No, that ain't no.
I was like, Daryl got it like that. Okay.
I ain't got that much talent. When it comes to the rapping, like I rapped in high school at a talent show one time, and I came in second. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of an LL Cool J rapper. Like I can't spit mad bars.
Rapping for the ladies.
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I did the best I could. Yeah. Well, Ben, like I said, we're so glad to have you here with us today. And we're going to go ahead and get the episode started the right way, and we're going to get it started with the check-in. All right, Ben, we like to start every episode with the check-in, man. This is our mental health check-in, man. We want to check on you, your family, your friends. How is everything going on right now with you, sir?
Yeah, man, it's going good. It's going good. Can't complain. I mean, obviously there's bumps in the roads, there's difficulties, there's things that we have to navigate through with life, but it's going good. Got a good wife, daughter. My parents just celebrated their 50th anniversary of being together.
That's awesome.
And it's just good to be living in this time, and just thankful to God, for another day. I try to live just thankful for each day at a time. I try not to go too far ahead, because when you can do that, you start stressing yourself out. So
look, hey man, I can attest to having a good wife in this industry. Children who understand daddy not gonna be here because he got to go run to some game out somewhere. And believe me, I've caught a little bit of the where you going this time?
Right, exactly.
Daddy got to go to New York for this Giants game. Like, why you gotta go this time? I'm like, look, you understand when you're living your dream one day. You're like, yeah.
Right.
But no, but my family has been amazing, and I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have somebody who's so understanding and not saying, there he go on the road again, out here doing this. I don't have that, and I'm super blessed. So love you, babe. Love you, babe. Well, I'm glad everything is going well, man. Well, let's get things started with the question I love to ask people, because it all comes from somewhere. Now, obviously, you started in the sports realm, but it is branched out into something great. But I kind of want to know your passion for sports, because I mean that's what got you going in the podcast world. Where did your passion for sports come from when you were 7, 8, 9-year-old Ben?
Yeah.
Where did that passion for sports come? What made you fall in love with sports?
Yeah, it came from my dad. I mean, I played Little League baseball growing up. My dad was a huge sports guy. He played football, played basketball, and at every opportunity we had, we watched sports. My family's from North Carolina. So I'm a big Tar Heels fan. That we became a Bulls fan when he was watching games. He would like, sit down, let's watch this Bulls game. Was a Jordan fan. So that's where it all started from. Seeing him and his passion for sports, and then getting into talking about sports. It was something we just did. As teenagers, as kind of growing up, you got your passion for whatever your team is. Had opportunities to meet different athletes and things of that nature, and that really just sparked it even more. We kind of talked about pre-show. I wish I would have used this, getting a degree in journalism or something like
right?
that. That ain't what I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about it now, but yeah, it came from my dad.
Right. 100%. Well, look at it this way. We had to technically spend less money, because the money that we had spent to build these things is probably way less than what we just spent going to college to do this bad boy. So, hey, a win is a win in some form of the fashion.
Yep. It all worked out.
It did. It really, really did. So now, and I mentioned a little bit ago about, how obviously you started in that sports realm, but you have branched out the BS3 Network to this monster platform. You're on Roku, like almost 9,000 on YouTube. If I'm wrong on that number, please adjust that. But
you're right.
But you're cooking right now, man, and you're almost at that 10,000 mark, man. Take us on your journey that got you saying, hey, I want to start, in this media field. How'd you get there, and how did you start from there? How did you get to where you are now?
Yeah. So really, I got invited on a podcast one day. One of my good friends, Eric DeWalt, he had a podcast. It was the Eagles podcast, but he also did sports and stuff. So he said, "You want to talk Carolina football?" I'm like probably the only one really that could talk about Carolina football during that time, because it's really not. Carolina football is not up there, when it comes to the upper echelon. Now, obviously, Belichick there, hopefully that can change things. But during that time I came on the podcast, I had all these notes. I was so nervous. He was like, man, just calm down. You just talk to me, like you were just talking to me. Don't act like you're on the podcast. And then, from there on, it was like, I loved it. I was telling my wife, like, I love this. I need to somehow figure out how to get in it.
Right.
And so he was like, "Why don't you start a podcast?" So I kept pushing the date back. Eventually started it. Enjoyed it. Audio. That was when audio podcasting. That was really it. I mean, I'm still on Spreaker today. Got a lot of the shows that are on there. But yeah, started off on Spreaker and eventually hooked up with another network. And they said, "All right, we can help you get credentials for the FC Dallas MLS game."
Mm-hmm.
I started doing that, and I was like, this
I'm hooked.
Dream. Like,
Hooked.
I don't know any of these guys. I'm a soccer fan, but it's like to be able to just experience it was amazing. And then from there, started doing some Dallas Stars. It's weird. I applied for Dallas Stars credentials probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Use them until like 2 years ago.
Dang, I can't even get in the hockey. I've been trying for you. They'd be like,
I mean,
"Sorry,
maybe
brother."
Dallas wasn't that popular. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
they would send me all the stuff, and then eventually I was like, one of my guys jumped on the BS3 Network, and he was like, "Let's go to these Stars games." So we end up doing it. They've been going on different runs and stuff like that. But sports was the huge passion. Started off doing a sports network. Courtney Harden was one of the first shows. I'm sure you
know Courtney. Yep, no Courtney.
Al High. So just started off doing sports, and then eventually I'm like, I like other things. So why not branch out and do other topics? So we just opened it up, and relationship topics. We got a church service like you mentioned on Sunday. Got a cooking show on Tuesday. We just really have some of everything. And my main goal was I want anybody to be able to come to this network and find something that they can watch, because not everybody's into sports, not everybody's into relationship topics, but somebody may be into cooking and they may want to learn some tips and tricks. So, StreamYard came along, and I was very hesitant because I'm like, I'm just like I'm a creature of habit, but when I click onto something, it's a go. Spreaker came along. StreamYard came along. We started doing that. One of my shows mentioned, "Hey, why don't you look into Roku, getting a Roku channel?" So I'm like, I don't know, how complicated is this? What is it going to take? End up coming to the shows. We all kind of agreed, all right, let's roll with it. And then that's where we are today. Did the Super Bowl. Courtney was the one that mentioned. I think a lot of people think that the owner or the founder is like the guy with all the ideas. But a lot of times, like I think Shaq said this, it's people around you that are smart, that have great ideas. They give it to you, and then you got to figure out, or you got to decide, am I going to roll with this, or this is one of these I'm gonna put to the side. And he said, let's look at the Super Bowl. So I'm like, how complicated is this? That's my first mind, is always like, how difficult is this going to be?
Right.
Do I have time?
Because I ain't trying to stress. I ain't trying to stress if I ain't got
I
to.
got to write like a 4-page paper on why I want to cover the Super Bowl. And my guy, man, Mr. Controversy, Raphael Haynes, reached out to him, and because we've been knowing each other for a while, he was like, just go on the website and apply. I'm like, it's that easy?
That easy.
Went on there and applied the first year. We ended up getting, week and game credentials, and didn't necessarily have a table, but business partner Ivan Dawkins, he joined BS3 Network not too long ago. He was there, was roaming around, just seeing different people. The next year we went, it's been 3 years. And so now we're just working on NBA, which is hard. We do have some for Orlando Magic, Major League Baseball, which is difficult. And so we're continuing to grow, but the journey has been great. And we're at this point where video is king. Like, you can have an audio podcast. That's your really secondary, but video is everywhere. I've been watching Carmelo Anthony's podcast. Like, man, this is amazing to hear these stories and stuff.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, you're right. Audio broadcasts are nice to have when you're on the road, and you got to be listening. But that's that secondary. Back in the day, you'd be like, oh man, let me go listen to this podcast. But you got to see it visually to say, all right, I seen what you guys are doing. I like that. I'm gonna listen to what they're talking about, and it really does take it to another level.